Depois de uma semana de intensos protestos no Egito, as Forças Armadas derrubaram nesta quarta-feira o presidente do país, Mohamed Morsi. O presidente foi substituído por uma corte constitucional. As Forças Armadas também anunciaram uma eleição presidencial antecipada. A situação é tensa no país. Tropas e tanques do exército cercaram o Palácio Presidencial do Egito e as principais ruas do Cairo. Segundo autoridades locais, Morsi e outros membros da Irmandade Muçulmana estão proibidos de deixar o país. Nos últimos dias, milhares de pessoas tomaram a Praça Tahrir, no centro do Cairo, pedindo a renúncia do presidente. Pelo menos 23 pessoas morreram durante as manifestações. O exército egípcio resolveu intervir na crise política, já que o presidente não atendia às reivindicações populares. Nesta quarta-feira, Morsi chegou a convocar a formação de um governo de coalizão e consenso para tentar evitar o golpe.
The people revolted against the regime on the 28th of January. People stood their ground to the police force.
Looking at these kids chanting freedom, 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 Hurriya, 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 with such passion, with such longing. All the rubbish that we've been hearing for the past years, Islam and Islamic identity, and Muslims don't like freedom and don't like democracy, and they hate modernism, and they're traditional peoples, and all this rubbish, you know, it overthrows it. Freedom is something in the soul. It's part of all of us.
And I remember this policeman coming up to me because he realized he cannot really do anything anymore. He just let the people go. And he's like, Mr. Amr, please, don't break anything. Please, don't burn the shops. And I was like, who told you we're going to do that? We just want Hosni Mubarak to leave. That's all. Don't worry. We know this is our country. These are our assets. We're not going to destroy them. We will inherit them. We don't want to inherit a burned down place. So just step aside and let us go, and trust me, we won't do any of this vandalism and you know, we're not going to go aggressive unless you want to stop us. So they opened the, please, you may pass. The blockade was very funny because they saw the amount of people coming. We were like 70, 80,000 people by then. And there was just one line of soldiers blocking the road, and they saw that coming at them, and they're like, okay. Until we reached the first small bridge, El Galat Bridge, and that's when the action started. Very horrible. This is the biggest battle of all was on that bridge. It was a real act of, you know, desperation. They're like, okay, you want to kill us? Kill us whilst we pray. Show us how ugly you can be, because we will pray and we will not stop.
كنت في المجموعة اللي كانت بتصلي ورشوا عليهم خراطيم المياه عشان التفريق. فسبحان الله يعني كنت بصلي العصر وانا فرحان ان في ميه جايه عليا.
When the people get to a certain point of anger and frustration, no power can stand in their way.
عايزين يقولوا للأمن، عايزين يقولوا رسالة للنظام إن اللي احنا بنعمله ده التظاهر ده طاعة لله عز وجل. واحنا في التظاهر بتاعنا هنصلي قدام الغشم بتاعكم، قدام الغباء بتاعكم.
The people became tenfold angrier. Meaning, if one of these security forces would have fallen in the hands of the people, they would have ripped his body apart, literally. And I think they felt that.
This was one of the most glory moments. I found like 500,000 of Egyptians coming from another place in a big crowd. It was a kind of support. Okay, we are very exhausted, and the police run off much of their ammunition, and another 500,000 coming.
So what did they say?
No, I'm asking if the army shot anyone or anything. They're saying no, the army's with us.
Mubarak imposed a curfew and for the first time called in the army. But when armored vehicles rolled into Cairo, they seemed to take no action against the demonstrators. In fact, crowds surrounded the military vehicles, climbed on top of them, cheered the soldiers, and called on them to join the movement.
الجيش ناس محترمة، ناس ولود أهل محترمين، ناس ما بياخدوش رشاوي، ناس مية الجيش، احنا كلنا بنحب الجيش، يحيى مصر، يحيى مصر.
We are a new people now.
خايف من الجيش ناس محترمة، ناس ولود أهل محترمين، ناس ما بياخدوش رشاوي، ناس مية الجيش، احنا كلنا بنحب الجيش، يحيى مصر، يحيى مصر.
We are a new people now. People who will not accept any damage to their rights. We will not accept being guided by fear. No more fear. 28th of January was the date fear died in Egypt.
Those who stayed home and watched it on television were so enraged by what happened on January the 28th that on January the 29th, a lot more people went out.
Now in Tahrir Square, the people are just increasing in numbers, and the curfew have been moved to 4 from 6 p.m. to 4 p.m. But I don't think they're going to be able to stop anybody coming to Tahrir. Or what are they going to do with the people here in Tahrir? Are they going to shoot everybody? The army will not shoot the people, and the riot police is nowhere in sight. I mean, nowhere to be found. I haven't seen one truck of the riot police, and I feel so happy and proud, and I'm 110% sure that the Egyptian people will not leave the streets until actually Mubarak leaves.
From the 28th of January, Tahrir Square was open space. It was a place where we go demonstrate and hang out, and some people started putting their tents, but it was still an open space.
I am 80 years old. Zero. I've seen many demonstrations since King Faro. Many revolutions. But this is unique. But the uniqueness is the power of the people. How many people here? How many millions? And in the streets, all Egypt outside.
People bringing their children, their grandparents, their great-grandparents, their parents. It's astonishing.
PM several hours late, Mubarak finally addressed the nation. His tone didn't sound like a man who was leaving. The crowds in Tahrir were silent, waiting to hear 2 words: I resign. Instead, Mubarak said he would transfer authority to Vice President Suleiman, a close associate for years.
The American position kept shifting. Calling on the regime, okay, exercise restraint, calling on both sides to exercise restraint, expressing confidence in Mubarak, and he's our trusted ally. And then, the tone started changing. Somehow in the middle of this, Frank Wisner was sent.
Question was never whether Egypt was minded to move on. Mubarak's continued leadership is critical. It's his opportunity to write his own legacy. He's given 60 years of his life to the service of his country. This is an ideal moment for him to show the way forward.
It was rejected out of hand. We told them no. All of us said no.
They would like to solve it before a lot of blood will be happening. They are trying to contain So they are open for discussion and solutions. They call us on mobile phones. We are the office of the president. Please, can you come and have a discussion with us? You know, it was a split actually in the revolution. Can we go and discuss with those people, or we cannot go?
The coalition of revolutionary youth movements came out as, or crystallized as the field leadership of the revolution.
So some of us continue sitting on a square saying no for negotiation, and few of us continue opening the gates. I participated in one negotiation with General Omar Suleiman and the Prime Minister Ahmed Shafiq, and the goal was to calm down Tahrir Square. How can we calm down people? And we tell them bluntly, you just make the president step down. Because it's not about our demands, it's people demands. You can just calm me down, but you cannot calm the people down except you do the people demands. Because negotiating with a president who you would like to throw away will not bring you anything except steps forward, and he just lose cards. Now we lose the interior minister, prime minister, TV, newspapers. So he's throwing cards in negotiation, and you just hold your card. You have only card, people on the square, and you have nothing. This card even is not in your hand. You cannot control the square. You cannot ask people to go. You cannot. And even if you ask them to go, you are a trader. So I have no cards. You're going to the negotiation. Reality, I have 0 cards, except people on the street. However, I have this card is not in my hand, but he have a lot of cards. So in negotiation, we try to pull card by card from his hand. Then finally, the last card, stepping down. He will not step down before he draw the 14 card before stepping down, the last one.
And said the armed forces would defend the Egyptian people and their legitimate demand.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أيها المواطنون، في هذه الظروف العصيبة التي تمر بها البلاد، قرر الرئيس محمد حسني مبارك تخليه عن منصب رئيس الجمهورية، وكلف المجلس الأعلى للقوات المسلحة لإدارة شؤون البلاد، والله الموفق والمستعان.